You're standing in the TV aisle right now, aren't you? Or maybe you've got 12 browser tabs open comparing prices on Amazon, Best Buy, and that sketchy website promising a 70-inch 4K TV for $300. Either way, you're about to make a decision that'll either transform your living room into a private cinema or haunt you every single night for the next 5 years when you're squinting at a dim, washed-out screen, wondering why you cheaped out. Here's what nobody's telling you. The TV industry has perfected the art of making garbage look premium, and they're counting on you not knowing the difference. They slap quantum this and AI that on boxes containing panels that'll start flickering before your first credit card payment clears. I've been exposing these tricks for over a decade, and today I'm ranking 14 major TV brands from the absolute worst money pit disaster to the surprisingly brilliant choice most people overlook. Some of these rankings are going to make you angry, especially if you just bought one of the brands near the bottom. But stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly which brands are laughing at your bank account and which ones actually deserve your money. Starting at the absolute rock bottom, we've got brand number 14, and this one's going to sting if you own it. It's On, Walmart's house brand that exists purely to separate desperate shoppers from their cash during those late-night panic buying sessions. Look, I get it. You walk into Walmart at 10 p.m. because your old TV finally died, and there's this massive 65-inch box screaming 4K Ultra HD for $299. Seems like a steal until you get it home and realize you've basically purchased a glorified picture frame that occasionally displays moving images. The colors look like someone smeared Vaseline on the lens. The smart features crash more often than a teenager learning to drive, and the build quality feels like they constructed it from recycled grocery bags. I had a neighbor who bought an On TV during Black Friday, so proud of saving money. 3 months later, half the screen developed this weird purple tint that made everyone look like they were auditioning for a zombie movie. Customer service basically told him that's just how budget TVs age. If you're considering an on-end TV, just know you're not buying a television. You're renting disappointment on an installment plan. At number 13, we've got Scepter. And this brand is fascinating because it somehow manages to be worse than On while charging almost the same price. Scepter TVs are what happen when a company decides specifications matter more than actual performance. Sure, the box lists all the right numbers: 4K resolution, HDR support, multiple HDMI ports. But actually watching content on these things feels like you're viewing the world through a dirty windshield during a rainstorm. The brightness is so pathetically low that you'll need to watch everything in complete darkness, and even then you're squinting at muddy blacks and washed-out colors. Gaming on a Scepter is a special kind of torture because the input lag makes every button press feel like you're controlling your character through molasses. I tested one of their 55-inch models last year, and the motion blur was so severe that watching sports felt like everyone was skating on ice, regardless of what game they were actually playing. The smart TV features are technically present, but so slow and buggy that you'll want to throw the remote through the screen within the first week. Number 12 brings us to Element, another budget brand that proves you really do get what you pay for. Element exists in this weird space where they're slightly better than the absolute bottom tier, which somehow makes them more dangerous because people think they're getting a decent deal. The picture quality is mediocre at best, with colors that look like someone turned down the saturation slider to about 30%. Blacks aren't actually black. They're more like dark gray with a hint of blue. And the viewing angles are so narrow that anyone sitting more than 15 degrees off-center might as well be watching a completely different, significantly worse TV. What really kills Element TVs is the longevity issue. These things have a lifespan shorter than most smartphones. I've seen multiple reports of Element TVs developing stuck pixels, backlight issues, or complete panel failures within the first 18 months. One customer told me his Element TV lasted exactly 13 months before the screen went permanently dark, conveniently right after the warranty expired. Coming in at number 11 is Westinghouse, and this one actually makes me sad because this used to be a respected American brand. Westinghouse appliances powered homes for generations, but modern Westinghouse TVs are just licensing deals slapped onto whatever cheap panels they can source. The current Westinghouse TVs you see in stores are made by companies that bought the naming rights and figured consumers wouldn't notice the difference. Spoiler alert, we noticed. The picture processing is dated, the smart features are clunky and rarely updated, and the overall experience feels like using technology from 5 years ago. What's particularly frustrating is that Westinghouse occasionally releases a model that's actually decent, which gives people false hope. But the quality control is so inconsistent that buying a Westinghouse TV is basically playing Russian roulette with your entertainment budget. At number 10, we hit Insignia, Best Buy's house brand, that's been coasting on the store's reputation for way too long. Insignia TVs are what happens when a retailer decides to cut out the middleman without actually improving the product. They partner with various manufacturers to produce TVs that meet minimum specifications while maximizing profit margins. The result is a lineup of televisions that work fine for about 6 months before the cracks start showing. The panels develop uniformity issues. The smart TV platform becomes sluggish, and random features stop working for no apparent reason. I've had multiple people tell me their Insignia TV suddenly lost the ability to connect to Wi-Fi, or the built-in apps stopped launching, or the remote became unresponsive. Best Buy's solution is usually to try a factory reset, which works about as well as telling someone with a broken leg to try walking it off. The only reason Insignia isn't ranked lower is that occasionally you'll find a model that actually holds up, usually because it's secretly manufactured by a better brand using leftover components. Number 9 is where things start getting interesting, because we're moving into brands that have actual potential but keep shooting themselves in the foot. Vizio lands here, and it hurts because they used to be the smart budget choice. Back in 2015, Vizio was crushing it with TVs that offered premium features at reasonable prices. But somewhere along the way, they lost the plot. Modern Vizio TVs suffer from inconsistent quality control, a smart TV platform that crashes more often than it should, and a general feeling of cheapness that wasn't present in their earlier models. The SmartCast interface is still frustratingly buggy after all these years. Apps take forever to load, and the whole system feels like it's held together with digital duct tape. Picture quality varies wildly between models, with some looking surprisingly good, and others displaying colors that make everything look artificially oversaturated. What's most disappointing is that Vizio clearly has the engineering capability to make great TVs. They just seem to have stopped caring about the details that matter. At number 8, we've got Hisense, and this is the most controversial placement on this list. Hisense has been aggressively pushing into the US market with feature-packed TVs at prices that seem too good to be true. Their ULED technology sounds impressive, and on paper, these TVs should be competing with Samsung and LG. The problem is reliability. For every person who loves their Hisense TV, there's someone else dealing with panel lottery issues, early failures, or quality control problems that never should have made it past the factory. Their high-end models, like the U8 series, actually offer impressive picture quality with bright HDR, good contrast, and decent color accuracy. But you're gambling every time you buy one because you never know if you're getting a gem or a lemon. The smart TV platform is decent. Customer service is improving, and they're clearly investing in better technology. Hisense is a brand on the rise, but they're not quite there yet in terms of consistent quality and reliability. Number 7 brings us to TCL, the Chinese manufacturer that's been steadily improving but still can't shake the budget brand. Reputation. TCL's 6 Series and 8 Series TVs are legitimately impressive, offering mini LED technology, quantum dots, and gaming features that rival brands charging twice as much. When you get a good TCL, it's an absolute steal. The problem is the same as Hisense. Quality control remains inconsistent. Some panels have perfect uniformity, while others show clouding and blooming in dark scenes. Some units last for years without issues, while others develop problems within months. What TCL does right is pricing and feature sets. You're getting technology that was premium only a few years ago at prices that feel almost unfair to the competition. Their Google TV interface is smooth and responsive. Gaming performance is excellent, with low input lag and VRR support. And when everything works as intended, these TVs punch way above their weight class. At number 6, we enter premium territory with Sony, and this placement is going to upset some people. Sony makes beautiful TVs with excellent picture processing, natural colors, and that premium build quality you expect from a Japanese electronics giant. Their Bravia line includes some of the best processing chips in the industry, turning mediocre content into something that looks significantly better than it should. So why aren't they higher? Because you're paying a massive premium for the Sony name without always getting equivalent value. A $2,000 Sony TV often performs similarly to a $1,200 TV from competitors, with the main difference being brand prestige and slightly better motion handling. Sony's smart TV platform has also lagged behind the competition, with their Android TV interface feeling clunky and slow compared to what LG and Samsung offer. Don't get me wrong, if you want the most accurate film-like picture quality and money isn't a concern, Sony delivers. But for most people, you're paying extra for diminishing returns. Number 5 goes to Sharp. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Sharp in the top 5? Hear me out. While Sharp's presence in the US market has diminished, their current lineup of Aquos TVs represents solid value for people who prioritize reliability over cutting-edge features. Sharp isn't trying to be the flashiest or the cheapest. They're aiming for that sweet spot of good enough performance with dependable longevity. Their mini LED models offer respectable brightness and contrast. The build quality feels substantial rather than cheap, and the overall experience is just pleasant. No gimmicks, no aggressive processing, just a straightforward TV that displays content the way it's supposed to look. Sharp's smart TV platform isn't going to win any awards for innovation, but it works without causing frustration. For people who want a TV that simply does its job without requiring constant troubleshooting, Sharp delivers. At number 4, we have Panasonic, the forgotten giant that most Americans don't even realize still makes TVs. Panasonic mostly focuses on European and Japanese markets now, but if you can get your hands on one, you're in for a treat. Panasonic's color science is arguably the best in the industry, with Hollywood professionals using their reference monitors for color grading. Their consumer TVs bring that same attention to color accuracy and natural image reproduction. While other brands crank up saturation and sharpness to look impressive in stores, Panasonic aims for accuracy. Skin tones look like actual human skin, not orange or pink. Grass looks like real grass, not radioactive green. The build quality is exceptional with materials and construction that feel like they're designed to last a decade rather than 3 years. The challenge with Panasonic is availability and price. They're harder to find in the US market, and when you do find them, they're priced at premium levels. But if you care about long-term quality and accurate picture reproduction, Panasonic is worth seeking out. Number 3 belongs to Samsung, the TV industry's marketing powerhouse that actually backs it up with solid performance. Samsung's QLED TVs are bright, colorful, and loaded with features that make them excellent all-around performers. Their gaming features are top-notch. The Tizen Smart Platform is fast and polished, and the overall build quality is premium. Samsung excels at making TVs that look stunning in bright rooms, with their quantum dot technology producing vibrant colors that pop even in direct sunlight. The issue with Samsung is that they tend to oversaturate and overprocess everything. Colors are punchy and eye-catching, but not always accurate. Their AI processing tries to enhance everything, sometimes making content look artificial. For sports, gaming, and casual viewing, Samsung TVs are fantastic. For serious film watching where accuracy matters, they're not the best choice. But for most people, Samsung offers a premium experience with strong reliability and excellent customer support. At number 2, we've got LG, the OLED king that revolutionized television technology and continues to push boundaries. LG's OLED panels deliver perfect blacks, infinite contrast, and colors that look exactly as intended. Watching a movie on a high-end LG OLED in a dark room is the closest thing to a theatrical experience you can get at home. Their WebOS platform is intuitive and fast. Gaming features include everything enthusiasts need, and the Magic Remote actually makes navigation easier rather than more complicated. LG has also addressed the early OLED concerns about burn-in with pixel shifting, automatic brightness limiting, and screen refresh features that make long-term reliability much less of a worry. The viewing angles are perfect, the response time is instant, and HDR content looks absolutely stunning. What keeps LG from the top spot is simply that OLED isn't perfect for everyone. If you have a bright room, LED-based TVs might serve you better. And while LG's quality control is excellent, their premium prices mean any issues feel more painful. And finally, at number 1, the brand that delivers the best overall value, reliability, and performance across their entire lineup. It's not the flashiest choice, and it's not the one with the biggest marketing budget, but it's the brand that consistently delivers satisfaction year after year. That brand is actually a 3-way tie between the best models from TCL's high-end series, LG's mid-range OLEDs, and Hisense's U8 series. Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. There isn't one best TV brand for everyone. The right choice depends on your room lighting, your budget, your viewing habits, and what you prioritize. What matters most is avoiding the bottom-tier traps, understanding what you're actually paying for, and choosing a TV that fits your specific situation rather than blindly following brand loyalty or marketing hype. The worst mistake you can make is buying based on price alone or falling for flashy showroom displays that don't represent real-world performance. Think about it this way. You're going to spend thousands of hours staring at whatever screen you choose. That's more time than you'll spend with most of your friends this year. More time than you'll spend on vacation. More time than you'll spend doing almost anything else in your home. So why would you cheap out on something that fundamentally affects your daily quality of life? I've seen people drop $500 on a TV and then spend $3,000 on a couch they barely sit on. The priorities are completely backwards. Your TV should be an investment in your daily happiness, not just another impulse purchase you make because the sale ends tonight. The brands at the bottom of this list exist because people keep choosing immediate savings over long-term satisfaction. And the manufacturers know they can get away with it. But you're smarter than that. You watch this whole video, which means you actually care about making the right choice. So do your research. Read actual user reviews, not paid promotions. And remember that a TV is something you'll use for hours every single day for years. Spending an extra $200 now to get quality that lasts is infinitely better than saving money on something you'll regret every evening when you sit down to watch.